Hello, and welcome back to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we will be reading Leviticus chapter 18. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments, and keep mine ordinances, to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. The nakedness of thy father, or the nakedness of thy mother, shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife, she is thine aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law, she is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswomen. It is wickedness. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, beside the other in her lifetime. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind it is abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto, it is confusion. Defile not yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled which I cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out of the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that committeth them, shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord your God. Summarizing Leviticus chapter 18, God commands the Israelites through Moses to disregard the habits of the Egyptians and do not pick up any of the new habits when they begin living in Canaan. God gives these ordinances, and ordinance is another word for practice or ways. In the margin of the Bible that I have, it was ways were written beside ordinances. Another word for ordinance is an informal law, a tradition, a tradition. Yeah, tradition. In verse 4, God admonishes the Israelites to keep his commands because he is their God, to remain faithful by keeping his practices. Do not seek to view your close, near of kin relatives in the nude. Now, when we go to the Interlinear Bible, this is describing unlawful sexual relations. And again, the reason why I am reading from the Interlinear Bible is because this is the closest translation that we have from the original Hebrew text to English. Uh, we all know that the Bible has been translated a few times, but this is a credible source. So we see here, this is describing sexual relations, but even though every time we're seeing it says don't uncover nakedness, nakedness can lead to more. It can cause impure thoughts. So it's just best to not even get naked in these situations. That's how I read this. But and here it's saying approach to uncover his nakedness. But when we read the King James version, it just says don't uncover the nakedness of the father or the mother. So basically, don't uncover the nakedness. Don't get into situations with your family. Okay? So it says don't uncover the mother, don't don't uncover the father's wife. So if there's like a stepmother situation, and that's supposed to be nakedness reserved for the man that she's married to. And then don't uncover the nakedness. Don't approach your stepsister or half sister for, uh, in that manner, in a sexual manner. And also, do not have those type of relationships with your granddaughters or the aunts or your aunts or the father's brother's wife. Because verse 14, when we look here at here, you shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. That is, you shall not approach his wife. Okay, because she's the aunt. And this is a continuation of Leviticus chapter 18, verse 13. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister. And when it says your father's brother, just like in chapter, or not chapter, in verse 8, and God says, you shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife. It is your father's nakedness. That's the same thing when we're looking at verse 14. Don't uncover the nakedness of your father's brother, because the aunt is considered, her nakedness is considered the man that she's married to. So don't uncover your father's brother's nakedness because you're looking at his wife. So don't approach that for a sexual encounter. And then neither should you approach your son's wife that way or your brother's wife that way. Or do not uncover or have a situation with a mother and her daughter or a mother and her granddaughter. This is wickedness. Verse 17. Verse 18. Do not purposely attempt to irritate your wife by having sex with her sister or marrying her sister while she's living. And so, verse 18. Do not take a woman as a rival wife to her sister, uncovering her nakedness. And so, you can look here at the interlinear Bible. This is verse 18. 18. Neither daughter shall you take to uncover her nakedness. You shall uncover, nor of her son, daughter, or her daughter's daughter. Neither shall you take to uncover her nakedness. They are near kin to her. It is wickedness. And a woman to her sister, nor shall you take as a rival to uncover her nakedness while the other is alive. To her sister you shall take as a rival. So when we look here, this is the interlinear Bible. So when we look back here at Bible Ref, which has all the English translations or whatever, don't take your wife's sister as a rival wife. And then when we look at the King James Version, it's interpreting it as, oh, now they shall take a wife to her sister to vex her. Huh. Let me look here. 18, verse 18. Because I am very sure, this is why I say you have to read it for yourself, as I missed that. I didn't write that in my notes. I just have in my notes, don't uncover a sister. So that's what that's saying. Of course, it was customary if a woman died to maybe marry the sister. That wasn't a big deal. But while the woman is alive, if you're going to take a second wife, don't take the sister. As we saw with Leah and Rachel, that was a terrible scenario. And Jacob ended up getting a lot more than he bargained for. So, verse 19, do not have sex with a menstruating woman. Verse 20, don't have sex with your neighbor's wife. Don't sacrifice your children to Molech. So Molech is a Canaanite deity known for child sacrifice. And then it says, neither should you profane the name of God. So, so by doing this, profane the name of your God. Of your God. So when we look here at the interlinear, you shall not, you shall let not, you shall let not, you should, and your and any of your descendants, not you should let pass the fire to Molech, nor shall you profane the name of your God. So in the interlinear, it's saying like two different things, like don't give your children to Molech, also don't profane the name of your God. And when we look at here in these English translations, it's English translations, it's saying you shall not give any of your children to offer them to Molech, and so by offering your children, profane the name of your God. Right? I'm gonna stop saying right because I hate when I don't want to say right. It rhymes with like. I don't need to filler. I will just be quiet if I can't think of another word. Okay, so when we look at the term profane, profane means obscene, vulgar, secular, unsanctified, irreverent, desecrate. So, and then some of the okay, well, those are all the synonyms, not synonyms, synonyms. Subvert, warp, prostitute, demoralize, degrade. So what I was taught when I was a kid, that profaning God means to take the Lord's name in vain. It was a synonym with blasphemy. So, you know, how some people will say, you know, Jesus, like as an exclamation, that was considered taking the Lord's name in vain. And a lot of people know this. They know that older generations do it, but they still decide to do it anyway because a lot of people think it's funny. And there was a, I mean, sometimes I feel like I have to just cut off so many things that I like because it's getting worse with people just saying so many things recklessly about Christianity and so many people taking the Lord's name in vain. It makes me not want to watch. And there was one YouTuber that I was watching, and I actually like his content a lot. But he just kept saying, you know, Jesus, and he just kept saying it over and over and over. And after a couple of times, I was just like, okay, I understand he's going to do it once or twice during the stream, but just over and over again, like even if you don't respect religion, you might have some people in the crowd that still have a faith. And you would not do that with Islam. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't do that with any other religion. Even Satanists, you know, and Satanists don't even believe in Satan. So no one even criticizes them because what kind of belief is that even? What are you even doing? But okay, that's a side thought. So And then verse 20, don't have sex with a neighbor's wife. Verse 21, don't sacrifice your children. And then verse 22, you shall not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. And I want to put a safety pin in that one because that one is a popular verse that we're going to discuss. Verse 23, do not have sex with animals. It is confusion. Verse 24, don't participate in these behaviors that will make you unclean. The land of the people who participated in this behavior are unclean and sinful. The land itself will vomit out the inhabitants. Verse 20, the land itself will vomit it out her inhabitants for the actions that humans are doing on the land. Verse 26, you are to keep these commands along with any stranger that lives among you. And then 27, these men who lived on the land before you did these things which defile the land. And then he repeats again, the land will spew you out, as it did with those men. Whoever commit any of these abominations, let me look, let me see, because we're going to get to that one too. Any of these abominations, this is verse 29. For everyone who does any of these abominations. So everything that was just listed is an abomination, not just one. All of them are abominations. Okay, just want to make that clear. It says that the punishment for committing any of these abominations, the souls will be cut off from among their people. Keep my laws. Don't commit any of these acts that have already been done. Do not defile yourself. I am the Lord your God. Highlights of Leviticus chapter 18. God is clarifying unlawful sexual interactions. First, God mentions Egypt and Canaan, saying, do not mimic their ways. Then names a list of sexual behaviors spanning from verse 6 to verse 23. In verse 24 and verse 25, God says that the land will become defiled if these sexual activities are practiced. Verse 25 and verse 28, God says the land itself will vomit or spew the inhabitants of the land out if the inhabitants defile it. In verse 24, verse 27, verse 28, and verse 30, God explains that the people in the land before the Israelites committed these acts. And verse 27 says the land was defiled as a result of these acts. So, again, I just want to show you all of these were abominations. The word abomination was used 4 times in the last few. So 26, and shall not commit any of these abominations. For all these abominations, whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit one of these abominable customs. Over and over again, God says all of these are abominations, not just one. All of these acts from verse 6 through verse 23 are all abominations. So we like to pick out one. But you know what? That's not even what I want to show you. What I actually would like to show you is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 10, right? I just said I'm not going to say that. I'm dead. Rewind and throw that away, okay? Leviticus chapter 10, verse 11. All creatures in the seas or streams that do not fulfill both conditions, and is a conjunction linking two ideas. They are in the same sentence. So in order to be following this law, you need to fulfill both of these conditions. All the creatures in the seas or streams that do not have fins and scales, you are to regard as unclean. They're detestable. They shall be an abomination in the King James Version. But you know what? Let's look in Leviticus. They are an abomination, and an abomination they shall be. But that to you, but all that do not have fins and scales in the seas or in the rivers, all that move in the water, or any living thing which is in the water, they are an abomination, and an abomination they shall be, handling their carcasses, an abomination. So you have to handle them in order to eat them. So one, two, three times the Hebrew Bible calls this an abomination, eating fish that don't have fins and scales. And if you're wondering what fish don't have fins and scales that are popular in America, I will give you some of those names: lobster, crab, shrimp, catfish, calamari, scallops. All of these animals don't have fins and scales, and they're very popular to eat. And me as a Christian, I was eating shrimp for a long time before someone made a comment to me about it, and I decided to do research because it really bothered me that this person that I perceived as not being saved like I was knows something about the Bible that I don't know, and then I read it and they were actually right. And so sleeping with a man, laying with a man as one lies with a woman, yeah, that is considered an abomination, but all of these other ones were considered abomination. Having sex with a menstruating woman is considered an abomination. Having sex with a stepsister, a brother's wife, an abomination. But so is eating the things that God specified that you don't eat. That's also an abomination too. So just again, I when it comes to these dietary restrictions, I do not hear a lot of emphasis on these dietary restrictions as being something that is described in the same way that a man as chapter 18 verse 22. It is noted as an abomination, but so is eating crab and shrimp and lobster and scallops and catfish and calamari. All of that's an abomination. And so that's just something to note. Okay? And then verse 25 and verse 28. The land is actually personified by God as having the ability to rid itself of the people because of their behavior. And that was deep. That the land can sense what people are doing on it, can sense that it's defiling, certain people are defiling the earth, and can vomit these people out, spew these people out. We always think of the land as being unconscious, not a living being. It is so important to get out into nature. I don't want to keep always having all this extra things to say, but if you ever go out into nature and you just take the time to sit and observe animals, plant life, even insects, you'll learn that society is a reflection of nature. There's a world on top of a world on top of a world. You have an ant who is so proud to do their job, who works to death, will die in the line of fire against an enemy. But alas, they're only an ant, and a larger creature preys on them and squashes them like nothing. And then you go up the food chain. It's all like that. Every character believes that they're the main character in their story, but they're actually not. They're living in a world on top of a world on top of a world. And just listening to reading this, that the land is personified. The land can actually recognize who is doing the evil on earth and decide that it's going to rid itself. It says vomiteth and spew. Those are violent expulsions to get something out. And the land has the ability to do that. God is saying that here in this chapter. So thank you for watching up until this point. That is Leviticus chapter 18. And the next upload will be Genesis chapter 19. Thank you for watching and have a good day, night. Goodbye.